You are a now and future saint. That's how Paul opens up his letter to the Corinthians, to the saints who are becoming saints. We just got done celebrating All Saints Weekend, All Saints Day, and All Saints Sunday, and All Hallows Eve, Halloween. And it's a day to remember the dead, those we have lost. It's a day that we remember the saints, those who have gone on before us in the faith. And we live in a time where there is a couple thousand years worth of saints to remember. As a Protestant, I grew up with a certain distaste or even disgust or fear of the Catholic practice and the Orthodox practice of venerating the saints. That it was some form of like worshiping something that did not deserve to be worshipped. That was a form of idolatry. And I suppose maybe there's someone out there doing that, but historically, the veneration of the saints was not about confusing who is God and who is not. It was about actually something that Jesus himself said, that God is the God of the living and not the dead. One of the moments where Jesus confounds the religious leaders of his day, the Sadducees who did not believe in resurrection, because Jesus believed that Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and his ancestors we're alive with God today. God's goal for us is not for us to be subsumed and consumed by God, that upon our death we merely become part of the ether of what it is to be divine. Although we will partake in the divine essence, the divine nature, as 1 Peter says, but as ourselves, as individuals. And when we remember the saints, when we remember the dead who have gone on before us, we remember them as individuals. This is what one theologian says. He says, the old-fashioned traditional Catholic practice of venerating the saints is something which still stands ahead of us, almost like the distant goal of our own development as a higher future. It means real, genuine, living realization of the fact that they exist, that they are living and powerful, that they are nearer to us than ever, that they are not absorbed by God, but are confirmed by God. That God truly is the God of the living and not of the dead, that far from being destroyed if we approach God, it is only then that we attain our own plenitude and independence. For the real God does not need to reduce us to nothing. So as we venerate, as we honor, as we remember the saints, as we remember those who have gone on before us, the cloud of witnesses, we are bringing to mind our own future, that we are saints today and one day will be saints, that there will be those who remember us. And that drives me forward. That gives me just a little bit of propulsion in my own life, in my own development. That God's goal for me is not destruction, but veneration, sainthood.